One big way that we can use Google Drawings is to help us create diagrams and charts, um, story maps. We can do this all through using Google Drawings. So we're going to show you a couple ways we can create that, and we'll show you how you can incorporate Google Sheets into creating some of these things. So once again, just using simple things like our shape tool, and we'll incorporate the line tool in our text box. So something as simple as like a Venn diagram would just be by creating our two circles. And what we would want to do, since right now they're both colored and you can't see that middle portion for how we're using a Venn diagram, we're going to want to make our shape color, our fill color, transparent, so then we can see that middle part. So creating a Venn diagram, really, really simple, just using two of our circles. And once again, once you have it selected, you're going to make sure that your your fill color is transparent. Another simple one that I've used before to help kind of categorize different things is using a T-chart. So to help us do that, we're going to use our line tool here. So looks like a little line with two dots on the end and it even says line, and you can select how you want. So for this one, we'll choose kind of a basic one. And it's just as simple as just moving it across. And then same thing, we'll find what we think is the middle. And there's your T-chart. And what we can do is at the top, use our text box. And categorize our different sections here. And then students can fill out the bottom portions here. So once again, T-chart, really, really simple, just using our line tool, which is right here, and using our text box option at the top. Another really cool one that you can use is kind of using for sequences, or kind of if you wanted to create some sort of story map, which would be including, once again, our shape tool. So we can get our start here. We would create this as our first option, or your first step, or your first sequence. And then you have a couple different options on how you can navigate through your page. You can use the arrow line tool to get to your next box, or what you can also use is in our shape tool, there's an arrow button as well, which gives you just a little bit more to work with. And you can attach your second box like that. And as I said, you can continue to kind of work your way around figuring out how you want to create your sequence map or your story map, or just kind of steps to help kind of lead your kids in the right direction. So once again, really simple using arrows, or you can also use lines and using just our shape tool. The last really cool one that gives us a lot of different options to work with is using diagrams, and as well as using different charts or graphs with Google Drawing. So in our insert button here, we're going to focus on these two right now, diagram and chart. So the diagram one's really cool because it gives you a bunch of templates that you can work off of, which is really, really nice. So say you wanted to create a timeline, you can add in how many dates you wanted to incorporate. It kind of limits you to 6, but still it's a good start. You can change how the color, and all you do is click. Okay, you can move how you want to. You can change the dates. You can add in your own for information. So it's a good template that you can work off of, and you can kind of have your kids work off of as well. And there's a lot of different diagrams that you can use to kind of use as templates. The last really cool one that I have used with a math class that I've worked in before, which was Mrs. Ray's class, we were trying to incorporate Google Drawings and Sheets using some information that students had developed, and that they had surveyed kids on different questions, so they could create different graphs that they were working on. So under Insert, there's a chart button. So you have a couple different things that you can do. So you can do this all kind of on the back end, which we'll show you here in a second, or you can use one of the charts, one of the options that's already preloaded. So right now, we can't really change anything. Notice I'm clicking and just adding the crop button. What you go to up here to where this link option is, and you can click on where it says open source. And what it's going to do is going to take you to a Google Sheets page. It's going to show you the information that they have there, and then it's going to have your options here on kind of what you just saw. So you have the ability to kind of change the different things on here. Okay, notice as it loaded, we get a little bit more here. So if you double click as well on the information here, you have the option to kind of change your color to for what you want to use for the different information that you have, kind of different categorizes of that stuff. You can change like I said, you can do a 3D model. You can change background color, and this is all through Google Sheets. And then once you have changed this stuff, you can click update, and it'll update right there for you, which is really, really nice. And I'll show you one other option too that you can do that I've had our students do. So like I said, you work kind of from the back end where you can just take your information that you've had, you can pull it from Sheets. So like right here this is Ariana Williams stuff that was in that same class that she did on a Google Sheets. So what you would just do is you just have that information, you can insert it, hit select. It's only going to pull out your chart, and then I can import that as well. And then there's your information right there. So a lot of different things that you can do, incorporate different stuff like we said, diagrams and sheets and graphs and sequence maps and story maps that can all be done through Google Drawings.